And welcome back in week 2 of the Coach Joel Taylor Show right here at Jefferson's Restaurant in beautiful Carrollton, Georgia. Coach, 1-0 in Division I football. Yeah, 1-0. And we talked about it a little bit after the press conference today. You know, us fans, we get to enjoy it. I know y'all have the whole 24-hour rule. We don't have that rule. We have the 128-hour rule or whatever to enjoy our first win. But just how exciting was it on Saturday, Coach? First win. I know the water felt a little cold after the game.
Oh, man, and I said I wouldn't be one of those guys. I always look on TV and see those guys like, how did they get you? And sure enough, they got me. But it was a tremendous experience. I think it was a great day for the University of West Georgia. I think it was a great day for the city of Carrollton. But it was an even better day for our football team to get a chance to see those guys go out there and work and to accomplish something together. I thought it was huge, man. We faced some adversity. Guys didn't blink. It was just a really good day all around. And you say 24 hours. I'll be honest, it was. I seen the Abilene score, so it was about maybe 30 minutes.
There you go.
I was like, we had to get to work, but it was a good day. It really was.
Yeah, Abilene. We'll definitely talk about them in our third segment. Want to talk a little bit more about this Sanford win. A lot of questions, a lot of unknowns coming in for us fans, Coach. But I think y'all answered a lot of questions. We saw the offense put up some great numbers defensively. Had a defensive player of the week, Micah Thurman. So we'll definitely talk about him. Yeah. Special teams blocked a kick. I mean, did some good things, kicked a 49-yard field goal. So positives in every step of the way. But let's talk about your quarterback. I think Davin Widener really won the hearts of all West Georgia fans in that game. Yes, he threw for 270-plus yards, but I think the two biggest plays in that game was him putting his head down, trying to run over somebody to get a first down. I think he definitely won over the hearts of a lot of us.
Yeah, man. We made the right choice. I told you a week before that was probably one of the toughest decisions I had to make, between him and Quincy, man, and Davin proved us right, which I knew he was. That was his first start. It was something that he's been preparing for a long time. And Davin just got that moxie about him, man. Does a phenomenal job with our guys. He's a great teammate, and he goes out there and competes, man. And you guys got a chance to see that on Saturday. And for him to have those type of plays, he's not only winning the hearts of you guys, he's winning the hearts of the offensive line, the running backs, things of that nature, man. And for him today going, put his head down and get those first downs for us was huge in the game. He also scored a touchdown with his legs as well, man. But Davin Widener's future here is going to be very, 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 very good.
Well, moving on with the offense, going on with the offense, we'll talk a little bit now about the running game. So Chase Belcher, we know a little bit about Rajay's. He's been with us. But Chase Belcher came in, and I think that was a nice little 1-2 punch. Talking with Coach Stevens just a little bit ago, they were talking about putting in that Wildcat formation on Wednesday night. I think that was a good call, putting that in down on the goal line.
Yeah, Chase is we call him a Swiss Army knife. All right, I mean, Chase has, skills to go out there to be a linebacker, defensive back. We can split him out at the wide receiver, and you'll never know the difference. So putting him back there to have that, that utility, that ability to do those things allows us to do a lot of different things. And the one thing that I really love what Chase did, I don't know if you remember the run that he kind of broke, got to the sideline. He didn't just go out of bounds. He lowered his daggone shoulder. Right, and he showed that physical toughness that I always love to see. So that was a tremendous play for him. But him and Rajay, that 1-2 punch, and then I'll be honest, man, Latrell Morrell has some runs as well. So just excited about that bunch, man. It's a really good room there.
Let's talk Hail Mary right before Jabron Claude, huge interception for you. And a lot of people would just sit on it, right? 46 seconds. I think you had 2 timeouts. It's that hit or miss depending on the first play. Well, I think you were thinking field goal. They're trying to get a field goal, but Dane Stevens said otherwise, right?
Yeah, man. So, Jabron had that pick, and, we're going to try to move that ball as further as we can to get some type of points. That's what we're going to do. And I think it was about like maybe 6 or 8 seconds left. I can't remember quite sure. And, Dane was like, hey, let's go Mary. I said, Dane, we don't have another play to get out of bounds, to get to a field goal. He said, nah, Coach, then we got to go Mary. I said, all right, let's go Mary. All right, but I know we got a big, tall guy that has a lot of that has a big catch radius, which is Dylan Gary. And sure enough, man, we get down there. I see everybody going down. I see Davin rolling out the pocket. I'm like, Davin, please do not cross the line of scrimmage. Please don't. He throws that thing up, and I see nobody boxes out Dylan. And I said, we got a shot. We got a shot. And sure enough, man, he come down with it, give us a 12-point lead going into halftime, which was huge. Oh, yeah. And going into halftime with that type of momentum, oh, man, our kids were jacked up. But let me tell you the one thing. When I went in that locker room, everybody was saying, Coach, it's 0-0, Coach. It's 0-0. You know, we haven't won the game yet, and sometimes, you know, a locker room can get complacent and they get too excited, but those guys kind of stayed focused.
Yeah, I mean, huge explosive plays there in that first half. Into the second half we go. Talk a little bit about that third quarter. I know that was a little downfall. Third quarter, 29-26, they take the lead back, but your guys, man, it's obvious they didn't blink. Yeah. I mean, we've seen in the past, you have a third quarter, you come out like that flat, a little flat, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Well, fourth quarter, they turned it on. They turned it on.
There's no doubt, man. And, you know, as a defensive, coach, you hate seeing points scored on the board regardless, right? As a head coach, you hate giving up the lead, right? But I think it was something that we needed. Right, I talked to the players the night before, and the message was, I asked them, I said, hey guys, is Sanford a good team? Coach, they're not better than us. I said, I didn't ask that. I said, are they a good football team? And they said, yes, Coach, they're a good football team, right? So I said, guys, then you're blessed. And they kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about, Coach? Right, I said, you're blessed because Sanford is going to do two things to us, one or two things. They're either going to reveal who we are, all right, or they're going to develop who we are, right? So they revealed who we were, right, out of that second half, right? They punched us in the face, and not one kid, not one, okay, flinched, right? And I think it was something that we needed to see. I think I needed to see. Anytime you're talking about you bringing a collective group of a whole bunch of individuals, to one team, you want to see how they're going to face adversity. You want to see their true character, and you got a chance to see that on Saturday in the third quarter.
And then fourth quarter, obviously, Nemo, the blocked field goal, going down another scoring drive. I want to talk defense now.
Yeah.
Your side. I know Micah Thurman ended up as the conference player of the week, but we probably could have had 3 or 4 guys, honestly. I mean, Solo had a great game. Jabron Claw, Jet Lee had a great game. Yep. Just talk about our defensive performance.
Yeah, man.
Against a team like the Hatch Attack.
No doubt. And we felt like defensively, we gave them 18 to 21 points. We were like, when you look at the missed tackles, loss of leverage, we had an MA from time to time. We felt like we gave them that. So, just coming in on that Sunday and those guys seeing that, first off, I think builds confidence, But those guys played their dang on nuts off. Jet Lee, Jet Lee, came in and stepped in. All right. We had one of our starters go down with a groin injury, and he stepped in and played really well. He played well on special teams, played well on the defense side of the ball. Because it was shaky early on at the DB spot. It was shaky with the quarter spot in that first drive. And those guys kind of dang on weather the storm. Micah Thurman, he didn't start the game. Which is crazy. And he wins defensive player of the week. Micah, man, I call him the quiet assassin. He don't say much, man, but Micah's so smart. He can run. I think he's going to be a really good player for us. Up front, man, Solo, earlier that week, Solo faced a little bit of adversity. And for him to come back and do what he did was freaking awesome, man. It really was. Built confidence in him. Nemo played well inside. Warren played well inside. We had so many guys that just played well. Jabron, he had a couple missed tackles, but he had that one big play that really dang gonna change the tide of the game for us. So we had a lot of individuals that had really good plays. Jake Carter played well. So we had a lot of individuals that played well.
What was it like looking up at University Stadium and all those folks up there cheering at the end of the game? What was going through your mind there at the end when you knew you had the game won? Felt like the last 2 minutes took about an hour to play with all the stoppages and the clock and the replays. But what was going through your mind when you knew you had this thing won, but it was just trying to get the end of the game?
Yeah. So after the game, I got the shower bath and. The one thing I did was I wanted to turn around and I wanted to see the fans. I wanted to see the look in their eye, right? I was just hoping those guys were proud, and that's what I seen. I seen that a community, our fans were proud of the way we played on Saturday, and that means the world to me. It really does. It's a feeling. Just getting that first win. For everybody. It's something that I won't ever get again. You know what I mean? But I can't replicate it. It was awesome, and we got to continue to do it.
Yeah, got to go 1-0 again this week.
There you go.
We'll talk Abilene Christian coming up here in just a moment. But next, we're going to continue with our fans and get some fan questions. So we'll take a quick timeout and be right back here on the Coach Joel Taylor Show. All right, welcome back into the Coach Joel Taylor Show here at Jefferson's. Let's give everybody at Jefferson's a round of applause tonight. Our great waitresses for taking great care of us, as they always do, and folks here are fantastic. We're going to now open it up to questions from our great fans. So if anybody has a question, just raise your hand, and Mr. Jared Bacchus, our great SID, will bring you the mic. Have Mr. Trick go first.
Coach, this is a super intricate football question. From Saturday evening until Sunday afternoon, how many congratulatory texts did you receive?
I actually counted them all. It was 138.
Love it, love it.
Hey, Coach, on that first play from scrimmage, how bad did you want to score on that very first play? But either way, just set that tone the way we did on Saturday.
I'll be honest, that first play was awesome. And I'm actually glad we didn't score, right? Because we got into our big personnel, we got Chase in there, and we showed the physical dominance. Now, would I take that score? Yes. But I like the way it played out. It was awesome. And speaking of that first play, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Dane came to my office. He was like, "Hey, Coach, man, what do you think about the flea flicker first play? It would be the first play of West Georgia's history. He was like, Coach, what do you think?" And I said, "Dane, if you believe we're gonna score, well, let's do it." I'm a born risk taker anyway, and sure enough, man, it was a great play to get everything started. It was you couldn't dream of a better play to start out our regime here.
First of all, Coach, great win against Sanford. Life's good when you're watching a game in Saturday night in Carrollton, Georgia. What do you think the game plan is going to be heading to Texas this week?
Oh, game plan versus Texas.
Don't give too much now.
Well, hey, stop them from scoring. They put 51 points on Texas Tech, man. So they're potent offensively. Their offensive coordinator actually was Valdosta State's coordinator last year. So it's kind of an air raid outfit. So we got to do a great job of stopping them or at least slowing them down. And then from an offensive standpoint, we got to do a great job of executing and converting on crucial situations as far as third downs, fourth downs, those type of things, and give us the best shot of winning. We got to do a better job too on our kickoff cover team. We got to do a better job there. That's one of the things that we challenge our guys this week to do a better job there. But other than that, man, we just got to take care of ourselves. I'll say that every week. I don't necessarily worry about the opponent and what they do or what they have. That doesn't matter to me. Right? At the end of the day, we got to take care of ourselves. If we take care of ourselves, I think we could beat any team in America.
Coach, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is this. What I saw, there's one word that comes to my mind when thinking about this past week's game is discipline. And one thing that I think that our football team in the past has struggled with is number of penalties. And I think this past week was probably one of the least penalized games for us in probably a very long time.
Yep.
What does it take to build that culture of discipline?
Yeah, man. Hey, accountability. The one thing, I'm a player's coach, but I don't play. So, and the guys know that. I'm going to hold them accountable each and every day. I think our coaches do a fantastic job of coaching those guys because that's part of it. You know, I don't think we had any pre-snap penalties. I don't think we did. You know, so I tip my hats off to those guys. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think you have to show accountability each and every day. You can't let anything slide. And our kids know that. So I think that's part of it as well. But it's a credit to them as well of being focused. You know, we talk about being focused for 3 straight hours, okay? Not just in the first quarter, second quarter. You got to be focused for 3 straight hours, and those guys did that day.
And the second question is with some of these football team members are not used to traveling different ways, traveling further away out, further in the country and whatnot. What does it take to kind of prepare some of these players who haven't been used to that before, preparing them for these further travels, for going out to, you know, on the other side of the country, essentially? Yeah,
well, this is going to be the first time, honestly. You know, the one thing we're trying to do is we're trying to do a great job of putting together the schedule, you know, and Miss Taylor Shields, our DFO, she does a fantastic job for us. So she's put together a schedule. She's worked on this schedule, you know, from the summertime, you know, so hopefully we can stay by that schedule. The one thing I always try to do is I try to keep everything the same if it's home or away as far as our scheduling. You know, even though we may be on the road, may have to take a bus or a plane or whatever it is, but once we get at that hotel, it's the same regimen that we'll always have if we're even at home. You know, but I think it'll be exciting for our guys as well. You know, so they're going to have to show some maturity, you know, during this trip. But it's actually our first trip all together at the end of the day. So to get better at it, you have to get on trips and do those trips. So it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. And the other thing, too, is interesting is this is a night game. It's a 7 o'clock Central Standard Time game, which is different as well. So now our young men are going to be actually starting the game at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know, so that'll be another you know thing that we got to overcome. But I think we'll be fine. I think last week we kind of talked about how we practice in camp. You know, we had a morning practice, we had an afternoon practice, and we had a night practice. So that helped the kids, you know, jumpstart their bodies and understand, like, hey, playing at night, you know, doing those type of things. So I think we'll be okay.
Hello. So on Saturday, it was so fun getting to watch the pregame and postgame reactions of everyone, or just like their overall demeanor.
Yep.
And one thing that I definitely did notice, just the difference in the guys' practice versus postgame, just like the sense of relief and just like the weight lifted off of their shoulders. But one thing that definitely stood out to me was just the shift of attitude and just like this positive aura of these guys. Like,
yep.
It was radiating. It was almost like God shining his face upon them. Like,
yep.
it was beautiful. And honestly, like, seeing them all pray before the game, like, I'd never really seen this side of the guys. And after the game, Brian Rice just fell to his knees, and there was a girl and came up to him, and he was just like crying, and he was like, "I thank you, Jesus," and it was just like the sweetest thing. I guess just my question is, going into this Texas game and this fun travel experience these guys will get to have going to Texas, how do you think this new attitude is going to help them in this game?
Yeah, I think anytime you beat a quality opponent, you gain confidence from that. Now, you did say something that I actually had to address today. You know, sometimes when you win a game like that, or if you win a game, or if you win a championship even, you know, you feel like, oh, God, it's done, oh, God. You know, and that's not the attitude to have. You know, anytime you win anything in life, right, you got to raise the bar the next week or the next time you do something. So that's what we want to do. We want to raise the bar each and every week. And, you know, we want to go 1-0 the next week, which is versus Abilene Christian. But I do think our guys will walk into that stadium with a whole bunch of confidence.
We have time for one or two more. Anybody else want to chime in? Mr. Tucker.
How's it going, Coach? So I know you said you don't worry too much about what other teams are doing. You're more focused on what we're doing. Last week, though, you said the thing about Sanford was they were very up-tempo and fast.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that one drive that looked like they wore themselves out. So what's your one thing for Abilene, and what are you doing to prepare for it?
I think you got to keep everything in front of you. They do a good job of stretching the field. They got a big-time receiver in 13. We got to limit the explosive plays, which I think is major, and that's where offenses live off of. They live off the explosive play, the big play. So if we do that, keep everything in front of us, gain tackle, I think we do. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. We just can't give up the one-play touchdowns or the 75-yard touchdown. We can't. We got to make them earn everything that they get.
One more. Who wants it?
Long-time listener, first-time caller, Coach. I got a comment and a question. Number one, you already touched on it. First 5 minutes of each half, football-wise, are extremely important.
Yep.
And Samford won that first 5 minutes of the second half, and our guys didn't bleed. That's a credit to you and how well this team has gelled in such a short amount of time to be like, we're fine.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, and so that's, first of all, that was great for me. Question is, they come out, they spread us out really, really wide early in the second half. They go 5 wide, and they kind of put the ball in the quarterback's hand a lot. Not really a whole lot of read option. It's just using the halfback as a decoy. Did we make some mid-second half adjustments, or was it more of a, hey, let's settle down and do what we worked on doing into the week? Because either way, it worked out well.
Yeah, you know, it was a little bit of both, right? I think you got to settle down, right? It's the first time the kids probably seen it at that type of speed. And then the second thing, you know, new this year is the sideline tablets. You know, so that was huge. You know, going into halftime, you know, just seeing some of the run game that they were trying to get done. You know, so having the ability of doing that and making some type of adjustments or having a call ready if we're getting hurt on something like that. So it was a little bit of both, man. But I just think, you know, our kids just got to get settled in. You know, I think our, you know, we call it our base defense. I think our base defense is really, really good. You know, I think it's good versus pretty much everything, you know, if we play it the right way. So our kids just did a good job kind of settling in after we got hit in the mouth, and everything was fine after that.
Well, thank you, fans. Great job, as always. We'll continue our fan segment next week and back on Monday night here at Jefferson's Restaurant. We can't thank them enough. We'll be back right after this for segment 3. We'll talk Abilene Christian, West Georgia next. All right, welcome back into Jefferson's here in Carrollton. Let's give it up for the folks at Jefferson's one more time. We appreciate them for always hosting us here. Special edition Tuesday night. I guess Labor Day. We don't work on Labor Day. I feel like you probably worked yesterday.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think I got home around 9 o'clock. So.
Okay, not too terrible. I was going for probably a little bit later than that. No, I'm kidding. All right, so Stanford's behind us.
Yep.
It's still in our hearts. Don't get me wrong.
No
it's
doubt.
it's still there. It will always be. But Abilene Christian time. Immediately when I got in the car, the first thing that I did was check the score and said, oh, man, they're tied 45-45 with Texas Tech. So, and ended up watching the end of that game, and they came up goal line short on a two-point conversion play. Right. But I'm sure you've watched a lot of film on them. What can you tell us offensively about Abilene?
Yeah, they're an air raid team. They spread it out. They got weapons. Quarterback is a veteran kid, so he makes really, really good decisions. He was a national, I think, player of the week. So I think he threw for like 500 some odd yards. Well, hopefully, you know, we'll keep him underneath that. But they do a good job. I think the offensive coordinator, I think he's a sharp guy. I think he has a really good system. They got good players. I think they're strong up front. They're big up front. Got 2 solid running backs, so they can run the football. In the run game, you got some zone schemes, inside, outside zone, split zone. In the G schemes, they can have some counter. I like to kind of counter OT and counter OY and some power stuff. So they got a little bit of everything. So you got to prepare for it. Our guys right now, they're in there watching film and preparing our guys now. But I'm thinking we should be okay as long as we keep the ball in front of us.
What about defensive side? I know they gave up a lot of points. Texas Tech obviously can score some points.
Yeah, man.
And have in the past. What can you tell us a little bit about defensively and how we're going to go about trying to attack them?
Yeah. So they are a multiple outfit, multiple defense, I should say. They show some 3 down, some 4 down. They were based out of a 4-down. But they got some really good players as well. I think they're solid up front. I think they got some good linebackers. They're long on the outside as far as DB-wise, corner-wise. I think I see on that sheet they got a 6'3" corner. That's pretty long right there. But they're good players. The one thing about Abilene Christian as a whole, I think they actually returned maybe 20 to 21 starters that actually started a game last year. So they have a little bit of depth. They got some experience there. I think they were maybe one play away. If they would have beat Central Arkansas last game of the season last season, they would have tied for second in the league. So that head coach has been there for a little bit, Keith Patterson. They do a really good job at the end of the day. They're a well-coached football team. It'll definitely be a challenge. Offensively, we got to do a great job of executing. That's just what it is. We got to stay ahead of the chains. I think they have a pretty good third down eccentric package to try to get after us if we're in third and long situations. So we got to be good on first downs to keep those chains moving, to make it more third manageable type of situations. So, but at the end of the day, at offense, we're going to execute. We're going to do what we do, okay, and got to make plays at the end of the day.
Let's talk quick about their special teams. I saw their kicker's got a pretty good leg. Punting was optional in that game, though, obviously. You score 100 points, but what can you tell us a little bit about their special teams?
Yeah, they're well coached on special teams in all assets. We didn't see much of the punt, but I would think they got a guy that can actually hit a little bit. The kicker's a solid kicker, so like I said, we got to work out for us, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of it ourselves. At the end of the day, and we'll see.
Leaving on Friday, getting out there, getting your feet underneath you, getting a good night of rest, waking up, and what's it like having to, I guess, try to wait all day long? I know that it stinks. I know it does to play. Get out there and just wait. Yeah. So what are you going to try to do to keep the guys motivated, keep the guys loose? I know it's hard just sitting around the hotel all the time.
It is the worst. Okay, it really is, man. But like I said, we got a system in place. We got a schedule in place where I think we'll keep our guys occupied. The one thing they can do is they can get a good night's sleep, So we're going to probably let them sleep in to probably about 9, probably have breakfast around 10. Nice. And then, start meeting a little bit, let them go back to their rooms, watch a little bit of game day, and then we'll start our routine after that. So, but the biggest thing is those guys to get a chance to get a little rest. That's what I worry about a little bit, the jet lag piece. So they'll get a chance to get a little rest. And what I'm really worried about is when we going back home. You know what I mean? If that game's going to start Eastern Standard Time at 8 o'clock, well, just imagine what time we're going to get back on that campus, So we got to pack everything up. We got to fly back. Man, we probably won't make it to campus probably about 3 o'clock, and then we got a road game after that. So it's that's what I really worry about. Going there, I think we'd be fine.
All right. Well, we look forward to watching the Wolves take on Abilene Christian. Coach, any final thoughts for you before we get you out of here and back to watching film and getting the guys ready for Saturday?
Nah, man. You're going to see the same type team. We're going to go out there. We're going to play hard. We're going to make you proud. We're going to fight to the dang on last whistle, right? Win, lose, or draw. We're going to fight. And that's what we're going to do every week.
Well, you can watch the game on ESPN Plus. You can listen on KISS 102.7. Many ways to do so. Just check out UWG Athletics for all the information. Coach Taylor, week 2 in the books. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be back next week. Let's give the folks at Jefferson's one more time a great big round of applause. We appreciate them. And we'll see you guys next week on the Coach Joel Taylor Show.